Alright, hi there. And we're almost ready to kick off. We're just going to wait for Ellie just to recognize the stream so that our opponent knows we're streaming and they can tell their friends and they can all watch the stream. They can all watch them kick my ass. And this sometimes takes a few moments, so apologies for that, but it's very important. Let's just force a check because we're currently showing us offline. And while we're there, let's light a candle. Oh, bit of a stretch that. That's right, your spiced pumpkin candle. Just gives it a bit of an ambience, you know. I'm coming to you from the darkness. It's like, you know, I like a chilled out, sort of dark environment. Right, we're still apparently offline. All streamers. Let's see if we show up in the list of streamers. Yeah, we're live, baby. All right then. Let's see who we get. You heard the sound. You heard it here first. And now you see. It's Blindfold Rapid time. Come on then, Andrea UA. Andrea. Siciliano. Bit of 9F3. Play for D4, the open Sicilian. I've turned the beats off, so if you want some beats, put your own beats on. Better that way, isn't it? You can listen to what you want to listen to. They keep playing this. I mean, what is this? It's like some weird Sicilian-French hybrid. Knight C3. Knight F6. Can't we just play E5 here? I guess we trade first and then we can play E5. Let's just do that. Might not be best, but we've got to do things. Got to act fast. Should we trade or should we play knight E4, trying to get to D6? Not clear. I think we should trade. Okay, so where are we at? Pawn structure for them. Is that how it looks? Pawn structure for us. Like so. I think that's how it looks. Oh, hang on. Now we can give them an isolated... Oh no, we've not got an E-pawn. Ah, our pawn is here, of course. Okay, maybe that wasn't such a smart move. Don't want to trade light square bishops, because their light square bishop is kind of their weakness. We trade two pairs of minor pieces, so bishop D3. So we're a minute down on the clock, but at least the position is clear. That's what we want, a clear position. Perhaps we want to play C3. Just to hold D4 somehow. Get the queen to C2 maybe. D6 played to attack our... Oh, they have a pawn here? Hang on, I don't understand. Right, I don't understand. Let's think about this. If they've got double D pawns... Oh, they've got no B pawn. Now I understand. Ugh. Right. So this is the pawn structure. Okay, great. So that's their attempt to undouble their pawns, and we shouldn't really let them just do that, should we? I think we should play bishop f4. I don't see... hang on. Is there a check? There is a check, but don't think it's a problem. Is there a check on this side? No. And don't think they can play queen. h4. So bishop f4 I think is safe. Okay, we're a long way down on the clock. A couple of moves we had to think about, but we had to put the pawn structure up there. But I think we're in good shape. You see, I've got my mic down here, and I bob down to it. Keeps the vocal sound quality good, but you can still see my face. Alright, g6. Saying that they're going to play bishop g7, I understand that. Yeah, I don't think I'm castling long, right? Not with these files being open, the B and C files. Being open for our opponent does not bode well. Yep, expected. I think we want bishop g3, f4, f5, to be honest with you. I think that's what we want. I think we want that fast. But first, let's queen d2, I think. Are they cutting through to b2? Not while there's a pawn on e5. Queen c7, when we can't defend this thing, can we? Or maybe we can with rook e1, but I don't want to play rook e1. Maybe then we should play queen e2. I like queen e2. Queen e2. Then c3, and we also defend b2 if necessary, you know, against a potential queen b6. All right, couple of minutes down. Not the end of the world. All right, they've castled. What's their pawn structure again? It's this. They've got this one developed bishop. We've got two developed bishops, and our pawn structure is like this. Okay, we've got queen here. All right. I feel like c3 is a necessary move at some point, but maybe not yet. Let's drop back to g3 and at least hint that we're going f4. Queen b6 looks like a move that could stop us in our tracks, but I think the antidote to queen b6 is just b3. c3. Appears to make sense. I think the big problem here is, for us, I don't think we've got much out of this opening. They've got this great center. If they trade their d-pawn for our e-pawn, if they manage to do that in good terms, then, I mean, they've just got a huge center. I think they should have done that already, really. They would have had two central pawns against none. You know, our pawns are over here. You know, if this e5 pawn here gets traded, our only compensation is that we get to land a piece there. And currently that would be a dark square bishop. This dark square bishop, sorry, landing on e5, and coupled with the weaknesses here on f6, g7, h6, I guess I mean. Black probably doesn't want to trade the dark square bishop. Okay, I think they got wind of what we're up to, so now they may trade. So queen takes e5 as a pre-move. Okay, so we're left to a position where there's one pair of money pieces on the board. They're on d3, c8. Queen comes to e7. They have castled. We can still go for f4, I think. Queen e7 is interesting. I think we can still go for f4, f5, but then they'll take. Maybe it's more prudent to go h5. Play 4 h5. what I think is the most prudent, actually. Oh, hang on. The e-pawn is pinned. Actually, f4. And if, say, move like bishop b7, we can actually play f5. You'd have to play rook e1, I think. So I think f4 might be a move. Because I'm spotting that there's a pin here, right? e6 pawn is pinned. So let's just do it. There will be a queen c5 check. Is that a big problem? I don't think it is. I don't see a problem with queen c5 check. Might be a problem for idea because that will unpin with a check. So I mean, maybe we can't get f5 in because I'll just take it. And if we play bishop takes, thinking, great, they can't recapture our bishop because their queen is hanging, they'll just throw in queen c5 check and we'll cry. So it's a little bit like lack of creativity, I think, Bit of a lack of creativity from me, really. Probably should have developed my rook before this. f6, okay. Understood. I get you. Shall we go back to e3 then? Covering the diagonal. I think we shall. And also hinting that we might get into h6 once this f pawn is... Ah, okay, so they created this hole on e6 for themselves. Okay, now I think c4 is a great move. I really like c4. This pawn is pinned. Unfortunately, we can't capture here because g takes. I think we can play c4. We should develop our rooks as well. c4. Bishop a6 was something I was thinking about to pin our c4 pawn. But our bishop's protected here, sorry. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do something a little bit sneaky. Play my rook to d1. Rook a d1. Why am I doing that, you ask? Okay. Oh, okay. Can I not just take that? That was my plan. Where's their queen? Their queen is still on e7. They've got a pawn on e6. Their pawn structure is looking precarious, gotta be honest. I think I'm going to take back with the bishop. I don't think there's any... Okay, bishop lands straight away on d5. Okay. That bishop is not pinned. Surely I can just try and dislodge it now, though. Why not? I will trade, and then they've got a backwards pawn on e6. And I'm kind of protecting my c2 weakness after a trade on d3. I think I've got some nicely placed pieces. Okay, rook or queen? I think I want to take back with the rook. Yes, I do. Mouse slip. I just mouse slipped. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. My opponent has offered a draw. That's very good of them. That's very, very good of them. You know what? Well done. I applaud you. And let's have a rematch. I applaud you, Andre. Thank you very much. I applaud you. Shall I say it once more? Applause. Alright, what just happened? Okay. So we're in a e4. Oh, hang on. Have I got the black pieces? Where are my board coordinates? Okay, if I have knight c3. Okay, we're in Vienna. All right, let's go. I applaud you. Thank you so much. Mouse slip. Okay, rook d2. You can hear the relief in my voice. f4. So we're in Vienna. d5. Normally what happens here is they go f takes e5. We go knight takes d4. And there's a couple of moves you see there quite often. Knight f3. Or sometimes they go queen f3. Yeah, queen f3 played. And then you've got this knight c6. Quite often they play bishop b5. Because if they take on d5, we've got an intermezzo, knight d4. d3, that's not a move I was expecting. Okay, not a move I was expecting. Can we throw in knight d4 anyway? I think we can. What are we going to be careful of? Right, we want to throw in knight d4 because it might gain a tempo on the queen, but our knight's attacked. So we hope that they can't move their queen with some kind of menace, like a check, for example. Are there any checks with this queen? There is one, isn't there? Queen f7, but I don't think that's a recommended response. Okay, I want to play knight d4. Can we do that? Oh, hang on. Can I play knight takes e5? Knight takes e5. I think the reason you go to d4 is so you can get to c2, right? That's the idea. But I could also just take a pawn here. And the queen will have to move. This is difficult. I don't really like the look of queen f4 in that line, I've got to be honest. I'm going to go to d4. I'm not going to take the material. Alright, so where are their pawns? Pawns are here, and our pawns are here. I want to get c5 in, yay. c5. c5 is what I want. Remember that. It doesn't work, does it? Should be c5 is what I got. Remember that. But I ain't got it yet, have I? Right. The knight attacks the queen and threatens a fork on c2. So I think you've got to play queen d1. Right? You can't play queen e2 because you hang your queen. Queen f2, perhaps. Yeah, that might be playable. Nope. Knight takes f2. So these knights are pretty menacing, aren't they? The central horses galloping down the field on the D&E files. Galloping away. Okay, our opponent's putting some thought in, which is good. Andre, who I applaud, has found the move queen d1. And now we have to deal with this problem. But hey, don't we have a queen h4 now? Queen h4, g3, and the beauty is now that the typical knight f3 twist probably doesn't work. So we got queen h4, g3, knight takes g3. A typical move in the Vienna at this point is to play knight f3. Hitting your queen, right? But that doesn't work because we'll have knight takes f3 check. So I think we might be able to actually throw in a check here and start attacking. Yes, because the knight that will give up for the exchange, to win the exchange, is not attacked. This d4 knight is not attacked. So g3, knight takes. H takes, queen takes. Okay, knight takes g3. What am I missing? Looking good. Knight f3. Ah, but we can take that now. That was the whole point. Now we're going to win a... Oh, isn't it a whole rook? Right, okay. Even knight takes e4 might be even stronger. This is a whole rook because it's a discovered check. Right. You ready? You ready?
Discovered check.
You like that one? Yeah. Right, queen d2. King e2, excuse me. Oh, excusez-moi. Isn't there a bishop g4 pinning the queen to the king? I think there is. Let's try and place all the pieces. King e2, queen f3, knight c3, bishop c1, bishop f1, rook a1, pawns, a2, b2, e5, d3, c2, b2, a2. Our pawns h7, g7, f7, d5, c7. I ain't got c5. b7, a7. We've got a knight hanging out here on h1. We've got a queen on h4. We've still got a bishop on f8. We've got a bishop on c8. The king is still on e8. And we've got both rooks at home. Everyone else is at home. Yes. Okay, I think we can just play bishop g4. And that might even be resigns. Yeah, let's do it. Bishop g4. Resigns. Why did they resign? That's why. Hitting the king. Alright, that wasn't bad. What should we do? Let's have a quick analysis of this game. Let's have a quick analysis. By the way, once again, I applaud Andre for offering me the draw after the mouse slip. That's really... It's made me think more about how I should handle my opponent's mouse slipping. Because, you know, such a gracious act. When someone is so kind to you, you really feel it, you know. Yeah, and then I did this to them. Maybe they won't be so kind next time. Just jokes. Alright, let's have a quick look at the analysis. So, okay, it's an 11 move miniature. e4, e5, knight c3, f4, d5. Such a great weapon is the Vienna. Good opening choice, I would say. And this is a known move. Queen f3, it's theory. Knight c6. And the move that I struggle to play against here is bishop b5. So I'm just going to put that on the board. Just for a moment, dwell on what does the engine think is the correct move here. Okay, it wants us to trade on c3. Can we have a quick look at the opening book and see? Okay, knight takes c3 is by far the top move. Probably d takes c3. And maybe bishop... wants queen h4, okay. Okay, that's the way to proceed, apparently. Queen h4. Rapport Aronian from 2023. Okay, anyway, that's not what happened in this game. Just wanted to clarify that. d3 was played. Now, I think d3 already is probably a decisive mistake. Right. Not in the blindfold world, of course. You know. Okay, but how did I... So I handled this right. Knight d4, that's correct. Queen d1 is correct. Queen h4 is correct. g3. Knight takes g3 is correct. Knight f3. Yeah, worse. Guess you've got to take hg. And just accept the exchange, the loss of the exchange. I would then have played queen g1, queen h1. And then try and develop, I guess, although the engine is suggesting king f2 as the top moves. I thought bishop e3 would be the way. Try to castle long and protect your g1 knight, which is under attack. That's not what happened. Instead, knight f3. And unfortunately, I think that... Well, we win the rook with the tempo. And here you can't go to a light square. I guess you have to go to a dark square. But this is already too much material, I think. It's a whole rook, isn't it? It's a whole rook. What would occur? So I guess you've got to go to d2. That's non-negotiable. Any light square, right? Any light square would fall foul of bishop g4. So you go to d2, and yeah, that's the move I was thinking. It's just bishop b4, then we just castle, or we even play bishop e6, blockade the pawn and castle long, one or the other. And I think queen d5, but queen d5. Yeah, I mean, it's just too much material. All right, good game. You know, that was good. I think I'm going to leave it there for now. We're going to be back tomorrow at 7. We've got a game lined up. That probably might be a couple of games there, be a slightly longer stream. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. But yeah, catch you next time on Full Board Vision. Want some beats? Want to get some beats going? But you know, I think I need something that's a bit bassy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I want some oomph, and not much in the melody, because that's what, you know. And then I start listening, and I stop concentrating. But yeah, we're gonna try and bring some new things to the stream. My composition team have been hard at work. And as you can see, my graphic design team have been working around the clock. And they're understaffed. So thanks to them. But they're also overpaid. Anyway, we'll see you next time on Full Board Vision. See ya.